Are you wearing an Ulver shirt? What is that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Did you ever notice AJ Soprano would have Ulver posters up in his room, in his bedroom in the show?
I did. I didn't notice that.
It must have been like the art department was a Ulver fan, because it would be like he'd have like he was into like new metal, like he'd have like Limp Bizkit and Korn and stuff, and then there'd be an Ulver poster too. And he's like, okay, he also likes Ulver.
Deep cut.
No one will care. Hey, Anthony, why are you listening to this shit? Why don't you listen to some good stuff like Richie Valens? That's music. Yeah. You know what I watched? You know what I tried to watch last night, because it was recommended to me by someone who was giving me a what do you call it? Like shoulder physiotherapy. Because we were talking about movies, and she, I mean, this is a young, like in her 20s Taiwanese girl, and I told her that I make films, and she's like, oh, you know what film I really like? Zootopia. So I tried to watch Zootopia, and I really don't like it. I think it stinks.
Yeah. Like
I don't like the messaging in it. I don't like the characterization. I don't like how emotionally manipulative it is.
Oh, that's literally every, like, when was the last time you saw a Pixar movie?
Like, I mean, I think that's the last time last night, like I turned it off because I didn't like it.
So that's literally every kid's movie now. Very emotionally manipulative, very, it's
messagey,
very lectury, very tolerant lecture. My, I have a daughter, of course, and I've seen enough of Zootopia, and several other movies to know that if I never see another children's movie again, I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it sucks. I really don't like it. I feel like I remember there was a point in my life, maybe a couple of years ago, where I was like, I'm old, and it just seems so ridiculous to be making art, especially like popular art, for people my age, because who gives a shit? We should all just be dying. We should all just be kind of like, on our way to dying. Because like the people who actually have futures, that they're the ones who should be kind of getting like, the interesting messaging that kind of.
No, unfortunately, they're not smart enough to make anything. So
they're not, dude. It sucks because like, so then I just thought, yeah, like, I mean, should I start to try to make stuff for children? But actually, yeah. Well, I don't know, but like, stuff that's like, I don't know, actually that I think has good morals and messages, cause like, I mean, but then I was like, what the fuck am I talking about? Like this was literally like about, 30 seconds of a thought. And then I was like,
no, people tell me like, they mention that to me all the time. Like, why don't you do a children's book, or why don't you do a comic for kids? I mean, I've done comics for kids when I used to work for Nickelodeon magazine, but as far as like a substantial book or comic for children, it just doesn't interest me. You might as well just like, oh, can you write a book about, giraffes? Like, I just don't care.
Really? You wouldn't want to write a book about giraffes?
No.
Okay. What about
as opposed to like something that I would rather, like, I actually feel like I would want to do? Why would I want to do that?
What about like hawks?
Like Hawk Tua girl? Yeah, I do. I do a book about her.
Nice. What about the Hawk Tua girl? Tomorrow.
Where's her movie?
Oh shit! Let me turn the volume down here. What's her? Yeah, her. Well, I mean, that's true. It's sort of a little bit sad, the fate of the Hawk Tua girl.
How come she's not in the new Evil Dead movie?
I mean, now we're talking.
Like, remember when like Paris Hilton was hot and they put her in like the House of Wax movie and shit? Like,
not a bad movie at all.
No, it's
Not a
all
bad
right.
movie.
I definitely
Yeah.
liked it more than I thought. I mean, it's not great, but it's tolerable.
Right.
But you know, like there used to be a time where like, hey, who's hot? Who are the kids talking about? Oh, the Hawktua girl. We need to catch this wave. We need to
Right.
throw her into the Saw 20 or something.
Right. Yeah. Fuck. Well, I mean, shit. Next time I make a movie.
Why isn't she in the new Scary movie?
That's a good question. That's a good question. These things move so quickly, though. You know, it's like it takes like, you know, 8 months from the time that you write a movie, at least 8 months from the time that you write a movie to the time that it comes out. So I mean, maybe it's just kind of like things go by so quickly. Do you remember? I think it might have been like Scary Movie 2, and there's this part where everyone starts like bouncing a basketball, and I remember watching that like, you know, way at like maybe a few years after it came out. And it was, there's this part where everyone just starts like bouncing this basketball, and it's this bizarre scene where everyone's bounced the basketball. And then I was like, oh, you know what they're doing? They're referencing this old Nike commercial, like just this, this Nike commercial that just happened to be on TV at the time that they made the movie.
Right.
And it's like, this is not going to fucking endure through time. You know what I mean?
Well,
like it's just
like those movies are sort of like, they're sort of like Mad Magazine in that way, where, you know, you pick up a copy of Mad Magazine from 1986. There's going to be references to things that have no meaning today. And
yeah, that's true. But I mean, you know,
and those scary movies are just like, yeah, they're immediate, like, you know, what is like in the pop culture right now.
You're right. Like what's up, you know?
And you got to think like there was, you know, besides the scary movies, like there was just this wave of those type of like Airplane, Zucker Brothers, like epic movie and superhero movie and
right. Meet
like,
the Spartans.
It just felt like every couple of months there was a new version of that.
Yeah.
And everyone, I didn't see most of them, but I'm sure all of them had like references, chock full of references.
Yeah, for sure. Like Britney Spears, like cutting off her hair or whatever, you know, like I was dating this girl at the time that Meet the Spartans came out, and she came over and put it on, and she was like laughing really hard at it. And I was just seething with hatred for her. Like I was trying to fuck this girl because I was just like, fuck you. You're so stupid. Like you're so stupid for thinking any of this is funny or good. And also for bringing it into my home and putting it on my fucking computer, making me watch it.
You couldn't have that thought after you fucked her.
I couldn't get hard, man. I lost my fucking erection.
Oh no.
But anyways, I also watched a little bit yesterday night, the Clint Eastwood film, A Perfect World. Remember that one from 1993? Like right on the heels of Unforgiven?
Yeah. I have a vague memory of that, but I can't remember if I watched it or if I just like saw some of it.
Yeah.
But I know the gist of it.
It's such a nothing movie. It's just this film where kind of like nothing really of any kind of substance happens throughout the whole thing.
Right.
There's a part where there's this little boy in the movie that Kevin Costner takes sort of as a hostage, but then they become friends because Kevin Costner is like sort of this criminal with a heart of gold. And I will say that the performance that Kevin Costner gives is very good. I think that that's been fairly well documented that this is one of his better just performances, like divorced from the quality of the film.
He's usually good if he's given the, you know, if the movie's good.
Yeah. Well, what's another Kevin Costner movie that he's really good in?
Mr. Brooks is good.
I haven't seen that.
Where he plays like a serial killer guy. It's good.
Is it like from the 90s?
Dane Cook in it.
Oh, sign me up. Sign me up.
Speaking of flashes in the pan.
Right.
There's a part in that. It's good in dance. He's good in Dances with Wolves. Even though, like, you know, I'm not sure exactly the historical accuracy of everything that's going on in that movie, but it is just as a movie. It's good and he's good in it.
There's a part in A Perfect World where like the little boy, he's got his Halloween costume, and Kevin Costner's like, well, go ahead and put it on, and the kid's like, I don't know, and then he's like, what, are you afraid? You're afraid of getting changed in front of me? You're afraid I might see your pecker? And the kid goes, it's puny, and then the Kevin Costner goes, well, let me see it. And then the kid like pulls out his penis and shows it to Kevin Costner, and Kevin Costner like leans over and takes a good look at it, and he's like, well, hell no, Philip. That's a good looking pecker for a boy your age. And then the goes back, the camera moves back to the kid, and he looks up at Kevin Costner and just like smiles at him coyly. And then I'm just like, I don't know that they would put that in a movie today. That seems like a very 1993 thing to put in
but
a movie.
I do feel that like we're all looking for that. Like we all want that pecker affirmation.
From Kevin Costner specifically.
From like an older gentleman. We all want an older guy to be like, no, that's a good looking pecker. I got to admit.
From like Elvis Presley. Well, that's a good looking pecker.
Yeah, celebrity. Yes, they should have like a cameo sort of service that just like celebrities look at your pecker and rate it. That's
a good idea. Pecker is the name of the app. Get rid of the last E.
Yeah.
PECKR.
Celebrity pecker rate.
Yeah, they just and if you pay extra, like they'll say a few words about it. Wow. Well, that pecker may slant to the side a little bit, but that's a good looking pecker. It's a good, strong, robust.
Son, I got bad news for you. You got a shitty looking pecker.
Oh fuck! Delete the app. So anyways, okay. So today we're talking about,
and then there's like a kid that kills himself, and then you get sued.
Right. The developers of Pecker are under fire for the Pecker app. Anyway, so today we're talking about two movies today. One of them is called Savage Streets, and the other one is called Eden Lake, and they're both about sort of like, well, in a very cursory sense, they're similar, about youth, out of control youth. And
I thought you were going to say violent
gangs,
women bent on revenge, women violence. Because both of them have heroines that have to face off against gangs.
Yeah. I saw Eden Lake when it first came out, and I really was impressed by it, by how just how uncompromising it was, and how like it was like, this movie doesn't give a fuck. They're just gonna say what they need to say and tell it the way they need to tell it. It's like, and it's like airtight and like very well acted, and I mean, there's a couple things here and there that are kind of like, what the fuck? Like him going into that house early on in the movie is kind of like, why is he going into the guy's house? Like
there's a lot of stuff in the movie that a lot of poor decision making.
Right. Just leave. Like these kids are obviously
there was all these moments where it was clearly like, dude, just get the fuck out of there. And he won't. Just like even that moment where he's kind of like, I'm not going to let these kids ruin my, our vacation and
our shitty date at a construction site.
And it's just kind of like, dude, these kids know where you are. You're just going to be sleeping in a tent in the middle of this, in the middle of like Indian country. It's just like you're playing with fire.
You're playing with
fire.
At
some point you or your girlfriend are going to fall asleep, and these kids, like I was a kid sleeping in a tent, and other kids, they know you're in there, and they'll fucking like throw a bucket of water on you, or like something. They're gonna do something to you, and
they're gonna put your hand in a glass of lukewarm water and make you wet the bed.
They're gonna do something, like whether it's just like something silly or they're gonna fucking kill you, which is they do in this movie. But
they're gonna put shaving cream on your hand and then tickle your nose with a feather.
They're gonna put like duct tape in front of the door, so then when you come out and you go walk out face first, you get duct tape in your face.
Oh, gee, and then they're gonna be there with a Polaroid. They're gonna
they're gonna post it.
Yeah, they're gonna take photocopies of the Polaroid and then put up those photocopies all over the school.
Or just like leave like 100 dog turds right outside the front of your tent. So when you get out, you fall into a big pile of turds.
He's trying to like propose to his fiance or his girlfriend as well, which is so funny. It's like, well, I don't know. Anyways, like I saw the movie when it came out, and like I said, I respected sort of just the meanness of it. I was just like, this is pretty fucking uncompromising, and you can't help but respect a film that kind of does that gets a reaction out of you like this. But I tried to watch it again for this show, and I couldn't fucking like when things started to get like right around the time when the dog dies, I had to turn it off. I was like, I can't fucking deal with this, and I was
like, it was stressing you out.
Yeah, but it was stressing me out. I ended up finishing it, but there was definitely a time where it became too much for me, and I was trying to think. I was like, it's not that it's like I pinpointed, I think, what it was that fucking got me, and it was just. I was just so infuriated at just the lack of justice going on before me. Like, fuck these fucking kids. I don't want to see them winning, and all they do is win.
All that particular moment was like one of the moments that I'm talking about, where like, you know, those kids are like trying to get all tough with Fassbinder, and then, so, you know, they're kind of having a little bit of a scuffle. Dog gets stabbed. And this is also after those kids stole his truck.
Yeah.
So the dog gets stabbed, and suddenly, like, he drops the knife, and he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I did that. And it's just like, dude, you should, first of all, don't let go of the knife. And be like, fuck you, fuck your dog, give me the keys to my truck.
Look what you did. That dog's dead because of you. Yeah,
who's next? Which one of you wants to be with the fucking dog? I'll send you to hell with him. Like, that, just like, his poor decision making and judgment is like that to me. Like, if you're going to make this type of movie, where, you know, something that's very uncompromising, and like people that are like in the middle of like some real crazy shit, their decision making has to be like the audience that's watching it has to be like, this person is a little, you know, like, they should be on the ball. They should know it. Like, this is what I would do if a gang of British soccer hooligans suddenly started to harass me. I would stab their dog, and then I would stab every one of them in the fucking face.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I'm so very sorry I did that to you children that stole my truck and have been hassling me for the last fucking 2 days on my engagement weekend.
You know, but like, here's the thing that's interesting is that, you could, cause like let's just say that happened and he does take that stance. He's like, yeah, fuck you. I fucking stabbed your dog. And you're fucking next. You know, there's still a way to get to the next point of the movie as it is. Like, you could just have one of the kids, there's lots of them. One of the kids has gone to get firewood or whatever. And he gets the jump. He hits the guy over the head with a rock or something from behind. And then you're back to the movie as it is.
Or like, you know, you think of like The Evil Dead
going,
where, what's her name? Ash's, sister is kind of like, I got to get out of here. I want to get out of here. I don't want to be here. And then Ash is like, okay, I'll drive you out of here. They, you know, there's that fake out moment where he's trying to start the car and it won't start, and she's like, well, let us leave. And then finally it starts, and he looks at her like, fucking crazy bitch. And then they drive off, but of course the bridge is gone at that point. So like, now they're stuck. So there's actually like a legitimate reason why they're stuck. It's not just because they're retarded, and it's just kind of like, well, I'm not going to let those guys ruin my weekend. You know, it's just like,
right.
if there was like some sort of plot point where it's just like, he's like, you know what, let's get out of here. Let's go, you know, maybe maybe, you know, we should go. And then they try to leave, but for whatever reason, something stops them from doing that. Something that's like smarter than, you know, I'm not going to let them ruin my vacation. You want these people to be smart, at least on some level, you know, when it comes to encountering dangerous circumstances, and not just kind of like blow it off.
Yeah. And like they can still lose. Like the outcome of the movie can be identical. But I mean, you just want to, you just want them not to.
You don't want them to die because of stupidity. And then you just feel like you're watching somebody like stab a kitten to death.
Well, or I mean, not even like, cause you just feel like you're watching some, like a poorly conceived story, you know? Like,
or did you ever see that, the girl next door, the one where like the kids just torture, Elliot Page for like 2 hours in the basement?
Well, it's not Elliot Page. There's two versions of it.
There's two versions of it, right? So whichever one, they're both the same. I don't even know why they needed to make two versions of this movie.
Probably Elliot Page was like, I'm going to do this one before I fucking snip.
Maybe somebody will accidentally cut my fucking tits off during the course of the movie. But you know, the movie is just kind of like, literally you're watching a horrible family torture a little girl for like 90 minutes or 2 hours with no redemption, no sort of escape. There's not even like a moment where she's kind of like it is in Eden Lake where like they get away and you sort of think like, you know, she's going to be able to get away. Like it's just, there's no arc to the story. It's just like watching somebody get tortured till they die.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but I mean, the excuse for that is that it was based on some kind of,
it was a real crime, but just because something's real doesn't mean it's an interesting story.
Yeah. But you know, if you have to weigh kind of like, okay, I'm going to go forward with this movie. Everyone knows that this happened and we're going to do the movie dramatization of it. You know, people would rather that it be accurate rather than like, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, the Green Berets come in and save the girl. Like,
well,
you know,
I mean,
in the third act.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so when you're picking a story or you're writing a story, that's something you have to think about as far as like, okay, you know, is this a satisfying ending? Is it like, and you know, maybe this story could have been told from like a like a perspective of like, you know, like the guy that's working at the hardware store where you shop, you find, or like your neighbor or something, or like you find out like he was one of those kids and like suddenly like all the story starts coming out. You know, an angle that gives it a little bit of a freshness that it's not just like a direct descent into a black abyss.
I don't know what else to say about this. There's an Indian kid in it that they burn alive.
Well, he turns out to be a little fucking traitor.
Yeah. A little Judas.
But I think I wanted, you know, I felt the ending was unsatisfying, not just because it was a downer ending. Like I feel like you could have maintained that, downbeat ending, but still have like a little bit of satisfaction. Like if she was like at the end when she's like in the bathroom, like if she's locked herself in the bathroom and the family's trying to like knock the door down, and then she comes out with the razor. If she was just like able to, or at least able to do like cause like enough like she doesn't have to kill the ringleader kid.
Yeah.
But if she had caused like enough damage, like maybe she like rushes out of the bathroom and slashes his mother's throat before they like blow her brains out. Just some like big explosion of violence, that killed, everyone except the kid, the ringleader kid. I think I would have felt more satisfaction with that than it just feels like it kind of peters out with it. Like they drag the lady into the bathroom and then the kid just like goes into his bedroom, puts his shades on
and deletes everything from the phone, gets away with it. I don't know. I don't
even know if he's like technically going to get away with it, considering that, there's a significant body count.
Yeah, but you can just say that she did it all or whatever. Like they can make up whatever story they want. And they're also minors. They're also like 13 or whatever.
That's true. But like the one friend of his that he like stomps to death with his shoe, I think you'd be able. I think you'd be able to pretty much tell that, like, yeah, that lady didn't do that.
Right. Well, yeah, like it's like. Do you remember that movie? Grotesque, the Japanese movie, the torture movie, Grotesque, where the couple gets picked up by that doctor, and then he kind of like just spends the whole movie torturing them. And he
I don't think I ever saw that.
Cuts off. Oh, really? It's worth watching. I think it's really just awful, but it's a good like sort of, it's just a good sort of I guess well made. Semi-modern torture movie. Feels like maybe 2010, 2012 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Along the lines of like Flower of Flesh and Blood, Guinea Pig Part 2, Flower of Flesh and Blood, mm-hmm. where it's just like a movie about just some awful guy just torturing some poor girl. Well, in this case, it's a girl and a guy. But okay, I'm going to spoil it for you.
Spoil
because
what?
The ending
of Grotesque?
Yes.
Okay.
Towards the end, the girl tells, kind of, stops being afraid and tells the guy that he smells bad. Mm-hmm. And she says it with such sincerity that like, in the context of the movie, like the sincerity is very clear. And he kind of is just like, fuck you. And he cuts off her head, and then her head goes flying up in the air, and then it lands on his shoulder, and she, with her last ounce of like head strength, she bites like his neck and mm-hmm. leaves like a scar there, but he survives and she dies, obviously. Mm-hmm. And then the final thing of the movie, the final shot of the movie, he's going off to do this to another couple. But you see that he has like a scar on his neck. And also before he goes out to do this to the next couple, he's putting on deodorant. Mm-hmm. So it's like she made an impression enough, like she affected his confidence enough that he's like, I think I do smell like she at least left an impression on him. Like that was sort of just the thing
that's her revenge.
Yeah, that's her revenge. Is she made him think that he smells. And I, like just something, like, I mean, like giving a kid a slash on the face so that every time he looks in the mirror, he has to remember that time that he terrorized the middle class couple that came down to his stomping ground with, and killed his dog and all that stuff. But yeah, you don't get that with this movie. There's no justice. And, that's definitely the point. That's what you call an audience hostile film. You just let, you don't give the audience anything to go home feeling good about. Is that a good thing?
It can be if it's well done. I mean, I don't have anything against depressing movies or downbeat movies or movies that make you feel bad. In fact, I sometimes like those types of movies.
Yeah. Sometimes when there's a happy ending, you get annoyed because you're like, oh, they just did that because they don't, they're too chicken. They're too chicken.
Or something like Salo, as famously it's a very challenging movie, and it has an extremely bummer ending, but it's still really well done and fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty others, or like, Come and See is pretty rough. That's a good one.
For sure. Downbeat endings, sad endings. Oh, I mean, fucking Red to Kill. Red to Kill, actually, I wanted to mention, I mean, I guess in Red to Kill, like, it's largely left to the audience whether or not Mimi is going to live at the end, but I think it's pretty, because like she's dying, or the lady's like, wake up, and then it just ends with her still, like, it's kind of like, okay, well, she might wake up, but it's kind of like, no, she's probably just dead. Right. But
I mean, I watched and assumed she was dead.
Me too. So it's a feel bad ending. But what's funny is that the Hong Kong trick of introducing a character and just doing a bunch of stuff with this character just to make you kind of like them, or make you at least feel sort of sorry for them, like they do in Red to Kill. Or this is a really good person. She wouldn't harm a fly, and then you just do her so dirty, like just about as dirty as you could possibly imagine.
Right.
Same thing is true of Eden Lake, how they open the film with her, like she's a kindergarten teacher and she's like, it's just so like I say manipulative, but I don't mean to, I mean that with respect, like it's such a just nasty thing to do. This is a nasty movie.
And I think the movie's going to work better if you see these people as like, oh, these are nice people.
Yeah.
If you see them as like, in any way that they deserve the abuse that they're about to get, like it should be the opposite. It should be like, these people do not deserve anything that they get. That needs to be established, that like these are good Christian upper middle class people. And also the woman is, I mean, the reason I watched the movie because I saw a clip, somebody posted a clip on Instagram, and I was just like, oh, what is this? I've never seen this before. And she was like running around, and I was like, man, this woman is really attractive. That's the reason I watched the movies, because I was like intrigued by the woman.
That's your type right there.
And, Irish. And, that's why I watched it.
Cool.
And to see like these guys brutalize such an attractive woman, it's harrowing.
For sure. Let me see here. Okay. So one of the things that's, been discussed regarding Eden Lake is sort of the social, message implications of it. Like it's this idea of like, there are these like good British people, and there are these like shitty British people, like who will steal your parking spot and fucking get drunk and fight and beat their kids, and they're stupid, and but they get the same rights and voting status and healthcare as like everybody else in Britain. And it's I guess it's sort of just like something that people over there lived with, whenever, like, what was that, 2008 when the movie came out? And it's just funny because, like, it's putting its finger on something that people are thinking about and that people are uncomfortable with, which is great. I mean, that's what I tried to do when I made The Sadness, like with the subway attack. Like this subway stabbing happened in Taipei, and it really rattled people up. And I was like, oh, let's just have that happen in a movie and just really just piss people off and see how that goes. So I like when a movie kind of will quote unquote go there. And
well, it popped in my head just now because it has like a Straw Dogs kind of a vibe as well.
Fully, yeah.
The sort of, I mean, the guy's not British, but he's an American intellectual, and he's moving to a rural English part of the countryside and encountering, sort of like what he thinks these people are. Because I also think that Straw Dogs is a riff on John Ford's The Quiet Man. Where again, like in that case, it's John Wayne he's an ex-boxer who I think he might have killed somebody in the ring, and he's trying to like get away from it all. So he moves to some cute little Irish town to, get away from the violence of the America and the boxing world. And he finds that there's nothing but violence. Like he's just like, he gets into a fist fight with Victor McLaughlin that lasts like 30 minutes. And so I think like there's that is also in Straw Dogs, where it's like, Dustin Hoffman, trying to get away from, at the time, violent America, Vietnam, civil rights, protests, just, America's just like a very violent place. I'm going to go hide out in the countryside of England and just do my math. And it turns out to be like worse than he ever could have imagined. Like violence is not something that's exclusive to urban areas.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I wonder if like, if they made this movie today, if it would be a bunch of like, Somalian immigrants or like
a
Northern
Pakistani
Africans.
rape gang.
Yeah. Did you ever see that movie? Did you ever see that movie? It was like a BBC, fuck. It was like I wish I could remember it. I wish I had it on hand. Let me just ask the phone real quick if it gives me a quick answer. What's that BBC miniseries about the girls that get raped by Pakistani guys that own kebab shops?
It doesn't exist. You made it up.
Yeah. No, it's called 3 Girls. 3-part BBC miniseries that was came out in 2017.
Okay.
And it's in this show. Say what?
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
it's definitely very interesting, and like it's I like how just sort of like it's just kind of like holy shit, like they're just demonizing Pakistani people in this show. But then you look up all the statistics, and it's like, well,
like now it's funny that like they're trying to like bury that, but it's funny that they made a movie about it in 2017, but now they're like pretending like that's very rare.
Well, it's just what's funny is that like I think that it was like, yeah, it turns out that 97% of Pakistani immigrants have raped a British girl. Like if you look at the statistics, associate, because like you go down a rabbit hole, you're like, oh fuck, this must have just like pissed everybody off because this was on BBC One and everything. Mm-hmm. And then you look it up, and it's like you're kind of like, okay, well, it seems like very accurate in terms of like the actual case involved or whatever. Right. Like that 97% statistic I just kind of made up to be hilarious. But
right.
But yeah, like it pissed everyone off. Yeah. And it's what's funny too is that like in this thing called 3 Girls, the Pakistani rape syndicate, sex trafficking kind of syndicate, they're preying upon like the kids in Eden Lake, like the bad kids in Eden Lake, like
right.
That's their prey. Right. So it's like, it's kind of like, the law of the deep ocean where you have like,
the little fish, big fish, bigger fish.
Right. Or just like or as you get deeper and deeper, like you just get nastier, weirder fish that like have, sort of bizarre ways of hunting. And those are the Pakistanis.
Right. Or it's like in Pulp Fiction where Bruce Willis and Ving Rhames are like fighting, trying to kill each other, and then they fall into that store, and then they realize they have a worse enemy, which is the homosexual cop.
Right. Right. Zed. Or it's like in Star Trek Voyager when it's like the Federation and the Borg are fighting, but then all of a sudden they encounter that fucking weird species 8472 or whatever the fuck they're called, you know, and then they're even more powerful. Damn. So, and those are the Pakistanis. Right. But anyways, yeah, Eden Lake, good film. Let's give it a rating. Like, I mean, like it's difficult to judge. I don't usually like to judge a film in terms of like just how it makes me feel, because then I would, like, all feel bad films I would rate poorly. Like, you have to kind of judge it against what its intention is.
Yeah, I judge it based on the quality. I feel like that's what I try to do. You know, is the story strong? Am I engaged? Did I like it? You know.
Yeah.
You know, like I did like a lot of it. You know, my only issues were the characters making stupid decisions, having bad judgment. I think if they had maybe made them a bit smarter, it would have bolstered the script and story up a bit more, and just an ending that was a little bit more satisfying in some way. So I guess I'd give it like a maybe 3 eggplants around there.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5 because I think it is a cut above. Like, there's something like, this is like a special one that slipped past the goalie, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a little bit rougher than a similar sort of horror thriller of a similar time, you know? Mm-hmm. This one's just a little bit meaner, and I have to give it a little bit more respect in the form of half an eggplant. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Eden Lake. Also, very good performances too from everybody. I think that,
especially Kelly Riley.
Yeah, Kelly Riley. Woo, Johnny's girlfriend.
I had to Google her after I watched it.
I bet you did. Kelly Riley nude takes you right to Mr. Skin.
Oh, I guess she's on Yellowstone.
That's right. She plays like the lady.
Isn't that like the
matriarch?
The show that the guy that directed that other movie we watched.
He didn't direct it. He wrote it. Hell or High Water. Yeah.
Yeah. Your buddy.
My buddy. He's my best friend. He's my mentor. Okay. So that brings us to Savage Streets. What is it? 84. The same year, the same year of release as Streets of Fire.
Yes.
Your favorite movie?
Man, that movie's a turkey.
That's a real turkey.
And that song that came out of it, man, they used to play that on the radio constantly, everywhere you went. I can dream about you if I can't hold you tonight. Remember that?
Hell no, dude. That was like 3.
They used to play that everywhere. You couldn't get away from it. And it definitely surpassed the popularity of the movie. I think the movie came and went pretty quickly.
Was it by anyone in particular, or was it just like a one-hit wonder?
No, it was like some one-hit wonder doofus.
The only thing I remember, well, no, I remember quite a bit actually from Streets of Fire, but like the thing that always just like, is the first memory is not so much of the movie, but just of my reaction of like the first time that we see Willem Dafoe's gang lair, and it's sort of like this like go-go club, strip club, and then it's just it's this person who, in my mind, looks like some skinny man who's dancing in like a G-string on top of a bar, and you're just kind of like watching, and you're like, so are they all gay? Like, I was like, so Willem Dafoe's, they're so evil and so punk. They're also like gay. Like they're like, rough trade, like gay, like sexual deep. Like,
it's like a Garth Ennis comic.
Yeah. I honestly thought that it was like, that's the whole thing. Is
Garth
like,
Ennis write this?
they're gay. They fuck each other in the ass, and they fuck people in the ass. But then like later on, you see like bottom boob, like very, 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 very subtle bottom boob. And you're like, it's a woman. It's actually a woman who's up there dancing. Right. The one who looks like a man. Mm-hmm. So then I was just like, okay,
I'm back in.
Yeah. Well, why don't they find, if they're going to have a girl, if they're going to make this movie so, I don't know. I mean, what are they doing with that? Are they trying to?
Who's in charge of picking the go-go dancers for Willem Dafoe's evil lair?
Yeah, it's
probably some gay guy.
Yeah, probably some fucking queer dude. But anyways, we're not talking about Streets of Fire because that movie stinks. Yeah. We're talking about a good movie called Savage Streets.
One eggplant.
Right. One eggplant for that fucking man-looking go-go dancer. One eggplant in my pants. But anyways, we're going to talk about Savage Streets, which stars Linda Blair and Linnea Quigley and a bunch of other people who...
John Vernon.
Oh, yeah, John Vernon's in it for like 2 seconds.
But it's a great 2 seconds. Probably steals the whole movie.
Well, I don't know about that.
Go fuck an iceberg.
Go fuck an iceberg.
That's the line of the movie.
It'd be cool if he showed up like towards the end, kind of like the principal in Back to the Future, like eat lead. What does he say? Eat lead, slackers. And he's got like a shotgun at the end. Like he's helping Linda Blair like at the end, but then he gets killed and before the finale. That'd be really sweet. But they probably just had him for a day to come in there and call them.
It sounds like it had the production was fairly challenging, from what I read.
Yeah, I can see that. They shot it in Hollywood.
Like the director was fired. The original director was fired. They brought another guy on. They had a producer. They lost the producer. Then they got a new producer, and then the new producer and the new director are not getting along, and so it sounded like it was kind of difficult. Yeah,
the guy who directed it was Danny Steinman, and he directed. Not number. Was it called Friday the 13th Part 5? The one where Jason is not Jason, but that's actually like you remember that like at the end.
Is that the one with Corey Feldman at the end?
No, that's grave? Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I can't remember. 4? I think it's 4, but I remember he's in 2 of them, or maybe I'm fucked up. Maybe it's not in 2 of them. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. That's Part 5. It has like a little cameo of him.
Is that the one with the fat guy with the chocolate all over his face?
Yes, it is.
So yes, I think that's the one with Corey Feldman at the end, I think.
No, that's Part 4. Part 4 is where Corey Feldman kills Jason with the knife through the eye, and he slides down the blade and all that stuff.
Okay.
But he is in it for like a hot second, Corey Feldman. But really, it's mostly about
the fat guy with chocolate on his face.
The fat guy with chocolate on his face, the guy who raped Corey Haim.
I wish that was the name of the movie, the Friday the 13th fat guy with chocolate on his face.
Because you remember that like Corey Feldman was Tommy Jarvis, and in that movie, Tommy Jarvis is like this weird, violent psychopath guy.
Okay. Do
you remember? He's older. He's older. All right. He's like 18 or 19 or something. and then there's that Friday the 13th is like very nudity heavy. Like it's very sleazy. Like there's a lot of just tits are out. There's some really, really hot tamales in that movie as well, especially like the girl who gets the big shears in her eyes. Like Jason, she's laying down on the ground, and Jason stabs her with sort of like garden shears that are like slightly open, and each eye, and then closes it, so snips the area between. Very attractive young lady though. Mm-hmm. Big bazongas.
Like Kelly Riley attractive, or?
I would, Kelly Riley's, I mean, you're an older guy, you kind of have your your own preference.
Yeah, I like B. Arthur.
Freckly tits, just a big pile of freckles.
Rue McClanahan.
Super, super pink nipples. But anyways, Savage Streets, like they shot that, they say they shot it in Hollywood. To our listeners out there, I don't just mean like Hollywood, like, oh, it's a Hollywood movie. I mean, they shot it in the neighborhood of Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, exactly. And the opening sequence with that fucking song, that nothing's gonna stand in our way. That song is pretty sick. And
I can dream about you.
Is that the one from whatchamacallit?
Streets of Fire.
Streets of Fire. You see the bad punks driving around in their like Coupe de Ville, and
well, first they gotta pick up their nerd friend who's still in high school.
Exactly. And so he gets.
I definitely like the Jake, the leader of the gang. He's got like a really great look, a great like energy. Like he just seems like he's like a fucking asshole. Like he was like just kind of a perfect bad guy look.
He's also kind of charismatic. Like the part where, because early on, because my favorite part of the movie actually is like when we first see Linda Blair and her little gang called the Satins. Yeah. And they're walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and she's just dressed like she's got sunglasses on. It's nighttime. She's got sunglasses on. She's got her hair up. She looks like a mafia wife or something. Mm-hmm. And I just like, she just looks so fucking cool. Like she looks hot as hell, and she looks really cool.
And then she's walking around with her deaf sister, played by Linnea Quigley, who is dressed like
a librarian.
She's going to Sunday school.
Yeah.
And somehow we're supposed to like think, oh yeah, they're from the same family,
right?
And she's like taking her deaf sister out on the town with her gang, the Satins, and they're like looking into, they're peeping into like sex stores and shit, and they're looking at like Playgirl magazine, and she's like, look at the schlong on that guy. But then they established that Linda Blair is like so overly protective of her sister that she doesn't want like these, like it's just like it's a weird dynamic. Like she's the leader of this nasty gang of girls, but like she's chaperoning her Sunday school deaf sister through the sleazy streets of Hollywood, just on like a fun little romp.
Yeah, it's just like, stay at home. Like you have a mom. She's like the mom's there, like introduced like after Linnea Quigley gets brutalized. Just keep her at home. But I don't know what the relationship is there.
Well, it's strong enough to warrant the revenge that is forthcoming.
Nothing's gonna stand in our way. That song was also used in the animated Transformer movie.
Musical.
Well, it kind of is a musical. There's a lot of like just 80s sort of hair metal, pop metal songs in the.
Also, I don't think I noticed the first time I saw this. I guess it just didn't really occur to me. But watching it the second time, the girls started it.
Oh, like, for sure they did.
They totally started it. Like the everything that the guys do is completely warranted.
How they gang rape that girl. They gang rape
the deaf sister.
The mentally challenged girl.
They're totally justified in everything they do after they steal their they steal the car, their car, and like have a joyride. They fill it with garbage.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, well, let's just fuck with these nasty, rotten drug dealer guys, because fuck them. And so they played with fire, man, and they got burnt.
They did. There's so the way it actually goes down is like Linnea Quigley is I don't know, I guess they're like horse playing or doing something. She slips and falls backward. And then the Coupe de Ville, like,
it's not like, I like how they don't leave it, like, they kind of leave that very vague, like her just like falling into the street in front of the car. And then the fact that they're like, and again, like they're blaming those guys, like, watch where you're going. It's just like, you just threw your deaf sister into the street.
Right, exactly. She's deaf, you fucking asshole. And then like, but then you got Jake just being like, hey, look, we're sorry, okay? And,
they're very apologetic. They're nice.
I know. And he's trying to fucking, like, he's genuinely trying to fucking smooth things out. And then he tells Fargo, the Italian guy with the really hairy abs to
he's hot.
He's a hot guy. To tell him to say sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Hey, how about you girls? You know, we go get some fucking blow. Fucking go off to somewhere and do some drugs. The possibilities are endless. And then Linda Blair gets in his face and says, that sounds about as nice as drowning in a pile of vomit. You get the fuck out of here. And then they drive off. And then, like, they could have left it at that, but then sure enough, the girls go and decide to get revenge for the audacity of these guys even thinking that they could get some of that pussy.
Right.
And then, yeah, you're right. They totally start it. I think that I actually really like, making a bad guy in a movie like this, like kind of giving him a certain amount of charisma. It's fun to sort of like the guy but then see him do something awful. And then kind of, it's like, I don't know, there's something interesting about doing that rather than just having a guy who just is bad through and through and shitty through and through. But then, okay. So then it's, if you haven't figured it out already watching this movie, you kind of figure it out, like when you see them in school. I guess they're at like Hollywood High in gym class, and they're all doing jumping jacks, and they're all like, you know, they're all punk. They're wearing like punk. One girl's wearing like a Specials shirt.
Right. They got the Walkmans on.
Yeah, it's very, the point is that it's very stylized. Like it's not 100% realistic.
And that hairdo that Linda Blair has, it kind of changes from the beginning of the movie to the end. The ending, it's more like, probably because it just took a long time to make this fucking movie, but the end of the movie, her hair's like kind of more long and let down. But the hair she has at the beginning, where it's like very tight, like it's like this tight, feathered, coiffed.
Well, she's got it up in like a kerchief kind of.
Well, that's when she's walking down Hollywood Boulevard. When she's in gym class, she's got nothing on her head, and she just has this coiffed, feathered hairdo.
Right.
And that hairdo was everyone in the 80s. Every woman in the 80s had that hairdo.
Yeah.
If you ever see any, like, you know, you watch like Stranger Things or whatever, where they try to like recreate the 80s, the women don't have that hairdo, then they don't know, then it's false. Because I'm talking everyone. Every woman had that hair. It was awful. It was an awful time for women, for like attractive women. And I'm not talking about like women in the movies. I'm talking about just like walking around on the street, like going to school, walking around town. Women had horrible hair, and they wore terrible clothes.
Yep. It was bizarre because they thought they looked good. But even at the time, it was just like, what the hell's going on? I remember my mom used to just get those kinds of haircuts, you know, and I'd be like, well, what the hell do I know? You know, no accounting for taste, I suppose.
Hey, what does that mean?
Yeah, thank you. What the hell do you mean, no accounting for taste? No accounting for your taste?
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
And I was actually once like the 90s came in and like the hair metal was pushed out by Nirvana and all that whole movement. It was great. It was sort of like, you know, probably when, Kunta Kinte took his chains off and was a free man. Like it was just like all the women, like they stopped putting fucking tons of shit in their hair and they were growing their hair long, and it was just like, wow, this is great.
Nice. That's what I call the real sexual revolution.
Right.
The sexual revolution of the 90s when AIDS came along, killed all the gays, and women started growing their hair.
Well, 90s was, I think, when they started coming up with medicine to cure AIDS. So that's why Magic Johnson is still alive.
Well, you had to be really wealthy.
I think it was in the 80s is when people were dying.
Right. We're just joking, folks. We're both gay, actually. Yeah. We're both gay and have AIDS, actually. Okay, so that John Vernon's the principal of the school. He's in there for 2 seconds. He tells the guy to go fuck an iceberg after the guy says he's got the clap.
No, he says he's got a fever.
Yeah.
He's sick. He's got a fever.
Yeah.
Tell him to go fuck an iceberg.
Well, he does say he has the clap. He goes, he's sick. He's got a fever. He's like, yeah, he got the clap. And then, he's like, go fuck an iceberg. And then Jake spits at his feet and he's like,
then he calls him a bunch of faggots.
He's like, bunch of faggots, get the fuck out of my school. Yeah. You'd like to see him more. John Vernon really rules,
everything he's in is sort of like you love to see. He's one of those guys who just, when he pops up, you're like, oh, thank God.
The first time I ever really took notice of John Vernon was when I saw Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Mm-hmm. I love him in that movie. I don't think
I made it through that movie.
Really? Oh, you should watch it. It's pretty good.
I didn't have anything against it. It just like I started watching it and then I got distracted and then I never went back to it.
It's just got a lot of I just feel like it's got a lot of ingenuity and it's way more creative and full of effort than it needs to be, because there was Clown. There's that movie that the pedophile made, like Clown House, and what's
Powder.
that? Say what?
Powder.
No. What's that Toby Hooper movie with the person who's got? Is it Tourist Trap or is it Fun House?
The one with the Fun House is Toby Hooper.
Is it the one the guy has 2 faces on one face, like that weird sort of monster makeup?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that takes place at a carnival. So there's there's just a bunch of things that are kind of.
I don't think I've ever made it through Funhouse either. I feel like I always start it and I never finish it.
They stink. They're just boring, cheap, whatever movies. But Killer Clowns from Outer Space just feels like a lot of effort went into it. There was a real preoccupation with having a lot of different stuff. The clowns always got some new thing that they're showing you, and it's always a pretty cool idea, and you can tell that they. Each little vignette is an entirely different kind of special effects sequence, special effects method. I like it, man. I think it's a great film. I always recommend that one to sort of, I don't know, younger people or people who don't really want to watch Eden Lake. They want something a little lighter,
a little more lighthearted,
a little more lighthearted and fun. That's what I call a good Halloween movie. On Halloween, I don't like watching Grotesque and Eden Lake and Girl Next Door. I'm trying to watch fun, goofy stuff,
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Or the Garfield Halloween special. I like goofy fun on Halloween. Uh-huh. I like to save the horror, the actual horror stuff for the rest of the year.
So that's a good way to go.
That is the best way to go, I think. But anyways, yeah. So there's the John Vernon part, and then there's a kerfuffle at the of course they rape the girl. Of course they see the girl at the high school, Linnea Quigley. Meanwhile,
recognize her from the previous night when they stole the car.
Right, and they're like, let's fuck that girl. That'll
especially they want to because the younger member of the gang is a virgin, so they want him to go first so he can.
Yeah. Hey, it's time to pop your cherry. It's time to pop the cherry.
Now I read on the Wikipedia that there's two versions of this. There's a longer version of the movie that's 93 minutes where each guy takes a turn. I think the one that I watched was the shorter version because only the two guys, I think, make it before somebody walks in on them.
Yeah, I think that's the version that I saw too, but I just assumed that they all fuck her.
Well, the way it plays out is that the virgin kid does it first, and he's very reluctant, but they force him to do it. And then, Red goes, he's like the giggly one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Rico Suave is supposed to go third, but that's when, one of the other Satins shows up and finds, and they're like, oh, we're going to get out of here. And then right before they pull up their pants and take off, Jake, kicks her in the head, and then they all run off. Yeah. But,
that is the version I saw too.
But I read on the Wikipedia that there's a 93-minute version where all of them take a turn.
Well, we got to hunt that one down.
Yeah.
This is also pre-boob job Linnea Quigley, by the way.
Yeah, this looks actually much better.
I like her with those insane pyramid tits that she has in Return of the Living Dead and also in Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm a big fan of just like triangular immovable tits like that.
Screw on tits.
Love them. Honestly, like I think it's just the time that I grew up in. Those are just the kind of tits that were available in pornography, and I got hardwired. Not to say that I don't enjoy other physiques, but I definitely that's not a deal breaker for me at all. So another thing that they do when they're raping this girl is they draw on her with lipstick, like they draw circles around her nipples.
Right.
I always thought that was like extra upsetting, but now as an older gentleman, I'm kind of like I just appreciate how they're being extra. Like they took that extra step to just make the whole thing extra degrading for her. Mm-hmm. Like to draw on her like that is just like, oh, they're just bad guys, I love how the scene is it's very rough and very graphic.
Well, she also gets like completely, like they take all her clothes off, like she's completely nude.
Yeah,
it's not just like a lot of most movies would just like she'd have like maybe half of a sweater on and like they push her skirt up.
You'd see her tits, but you wouldn't see her pussy.
But she's got nothing on but her sneakers.
Right, exactly, and she's sweaty
or socks or something.
And the contrast of seeing her dressed like a librarian and then seeing her like that is just it's very shocking.
Yeah. It's a very like it's a whatever they were trying to do here, they succeeded.
I think that it was almost like I'm not even sure what the guy was trying to do. I think that he might have, because to be honest, like the film has sort of this fun, stylized, sort of fashiony kind of cute, like these guys are 1987 drug dealers, but they kind of behave and look sort of like 50s greasers. Like there is sort of a bizarre naivete to sort of the way that a lot of these characters are characterized. Mm-hmm. Like it just seems like a okay, so they drive around in a Cadillac.
But I feel like that was like an aesthetic of the time. Like I think a lot of 80s movies borrowed heavily from the 50s.
The 50s? Like but what were they like in real life though? Like what was it like really in Hollywood? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I wasn't living in Hollywood, but I'm telling you, like I can tell you that like being a teenager in the 80s, it wasn't really like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean.
There wasn't like, you know, packs of 80s kids driving around in 50s convertibles. That wasn't.
There were definitely bad. There were definitely
I feel like that was happening a lot in 80s movies.
That's true, but wouldn't it be cool if like, I guess what I'm saying is that to sort of go to hit you sort of so hard in the face with the assault, with the rape scene, mm-hmm. but then also to kind of go with the sort of weird 50s, like, you know, like the sort of a weird sort of 50s pastiche, like Grease, like the fucking movie Grease or something. And then, but then hit you really hard with that fucking rape scene is like, it just seems a little bit, unconsidered. And
well, maybe it was considered in that, like, you know, the 50s was considered to be sort of like prime time American power and conservatism, and to then kind of like, you know, and like sort of like the family and America, and like, you know, that's just like, that just embodied everything about America. And then to kind of like take those ideals and status symbols and employ them in this way, maybe there was like a message there.
What would the movie be like if the characters, the kids, both the Satins and the Scars were based on like actually what teenagers were wearing and behaved and dressed like, and you know what I mean? Like, what if it was more real? What if it felt more real? The whole
well, the gang would probably be all Mexican kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Hollywood. Yeah. And that's the other thing too, like the whole like idea of like, you know, the West Side Story, you know, gangs, wearing gang jackets. Yeah. Even that is sort of like, that wasn't really a thing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's
so like, it's definitely like they're taking some like these tropes from, you know, classic 50s teen movies. Cause that's the other thing too, is like juvenile delinquent films, or like the height of juvenile delinquent films is the 50s. James Dean and the Rebel Without a Cause and all that shit. And they're moving it up into the 80s, putting it in sort of a modern context. You know, clearly I think that was very, very intentional in that way, like taking these ideals and making them, you know,
recontextualizing them.
Taking them to a new extreme. Like, okay, we have the, you know, West Side Story, two gangs fighting. What happens if we transpose that to modern times now with violence and drugs and rape and, you know, what happens if we intermingle those concepts? What do we get?
It is interesting. You just made me think like, we often forget like how dead set America was against drugs in the 80s. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, so the fact that like, you know, they could, you know, the girl falls in the street, they stop the fucking car, they apologize, they're friendly, but then they offer the girls drugs. That's probably enough for us to be kind of like, oh, these guys are shitty bad guys. They deserve to die. They deserve to have their car stolen and filled up with garbage at the very least.
Because these girls are nice and they're just going to go get some ice cream.
They're just looking at pictures.
They're just window shopping for crossbows.
Yeah, and looking at 10-inch schlongs. So Linda Blair, while this girl's getting raped, Linda Blair is like fighting a bunch of girls in the showers.
She's having a cat fight in the shower with nude women watching.
Nude women with huge tits, huge fucking
Like some of the shots are just like the way the camera just like intentionally pans up some of the bodies of like these high school girls. Like these girls are literally like 35 years old.
Yeah.
And some of the guys are too.
Yeah.
But
like
these are
Fargo.
like full.
Fargo looks like he's fucking, ready. Like his kids are like in high school, him, like his own kids. But in any case, like the movie is sleazy as hell, which is absolutely welcomed. Like
Right.
that's one of the reasons why.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. I mean, this, like, without the sleaze, Savage Streets doesn't have a ton going for it. Luckily, it's pervasive throughout the entire thing. Like, it's just part of the film.
Right.
It's inseparable from the rest of the film. So then, like, finally they figure out that this girl's got raped. She goes to hospital. It's this big fucking thing. Everyone's crying. They end up going to like this sort of little disco where one of the girls is
the peach pit of Savage Streets.
Right. It's the peach pit of Savage Streets. One of the girls is accosted by Jake again.
Or Arnold's from Happy Days. All the kids meet at
right.
And during the show Happy Days, that was like the after school hangout.
Before my time, my friend. I don't think I've even seen a single episode of Happy Days.
That was literally the biggest show ever of its time.
No doubt.
Like the Fonz was like, I'm trying to think of something comparable today. Like imagine Trump, but everybody loved Trump. That was the Fonz. Like everybody. There wasn't somebody who would just be like, yeah, I don't really care for the Fonz. He's just not my cup of tea. Everyone loved the Fonz.
You're like talking about the Fonz like at the mall, and then someone you don't know comes over and it's like, are you guys talking about the Fonz? Oh my God, I love him.
Fuck the Fonz.
Yeah.
You, that kid, dead kid.
That's so funny.
You don't like the Fonz, you're dead. Yeah.
That's so funny how, this is what America's missing these days, man. We're missing the Fonz. We don't have a Fonz. We need Fonzarelli to lead the way, to carry the torch. Well, see, that's what happened. When Charlie Kirk died, they took the Fonz away from us. They saw the power.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Bullshit.
Goddamn Israel taking
goddamn transsexual Israel Epstein.
Yeah. They just can't let America be America. So they're at the fucking peach pit, and then there's like a fight that happens, and we also find out that this girl is like pregnant, and or maybe we don't find out then, but we find out she's getting married. They do all the shit. They do all the thing where
they do that because I'm gonna marry this guy. I'm pregnant. We're gonna go buy a farm. We're gonna do this, and then okay, this girl's days are numbered. She's already making future plans. We know that she's.
Yeah. Well, I've been on the force for 25 years, only 3 days to retirement. I just christened the boat with the old lady. We're going to sail the 7 seas, The next thing you know, he gets shot dead in the fucking diner.
As soon as somebody tells you their future plans and dreams, dead
toast.
Never,
so she ends up
reveal your future plans.
She ends up getting into a fight with this guy, with Jake and Fargo and the rest of the gang at the peach pit there. She ends up cutting Jake's face. They track her down. She's carrying her wedding gown in a box. They chase her down and they have her on a bridge, probably a bridge that you probably recognize. Do you recognize that bridge?
It looks like it's sort of probably like south of downtown.
Right. I was actually, I was watching TJ Hooker. I was watching some TJ Hooker episodes the other day, and I was like, just like they, sort of clocking sort of all these like Hollywood locations. Mm-hmm. It's kind of fun. It's fun. It must have been so fun. Like maybe, I don't know, 25 years ago, living in Hollywood, living in LA. Because it's just like everything's going on over there, and it's almost like it's indivisible from like television. It's like fantasy world.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's, I don't know. Now it's probably a bit different. Anyways, they end up throwing her off the bridge, and they throw the wedding gown off too, adding insult to injury. Then Linda Blair.
It was just like that girl they threw off the bridge in Brazil.
What?
You didn't see that?
Was that recent?
Oh man, it's like they won't stop talking about it. Some girl went bungee jumping in Brazil.
Yeah.
And there's video of like they're carrying her over to the edge of the bridge and they just like throw her off, and then they're like, "Oh, whoops, we forgot to attach the fucking cord."
That's funny.
So the girl just fucking plummeted to her death.
Wow. Sweet.
But it's like, it was literally like when Jake lifts her up and throws her, it was like literally the same.
That's crazy.
Except
I gotta
except
look
with
that up.
except with less anger.
Sure. So then Linda Blair goes and like, what does she do? She sort of sneaks her way into the house of Vince, the high school guy, and she gets him to admit to all the wrongdoings of the Scars gang. And then we see her in a bathtub with her tits, like naked with her tits out, and a metal song playing in the background. Nice. And then this was around the time that I think Linda Blair was fucking
Rick James.
Rick James, that's right. Pretty sweet.
Well, she was also like, I think she was also in another one of my favorite films of the time, Night Patrol.
Oh.
Where she plays a police officer, and I think because I feel like it's that same, like it's got to be like within like a year or two. She looks exactly the same, has the same haircut, and I think she's nude in that as well. But I think she might have I feel like she had a relationship with the unknown comic at some point. But I can't be sure.
Was Linda Blair was in that fucking shitty recent Exorcist movie, right?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? I think she was like in it, but at the very end. They had is it Ellen Barkin? Not Ellen Barkin. What's the name of the late? Excuse me. Don't misgender. What's the name of the lady who's in The Exorcist, like the mom? Ellen something.
Ellen Burstyn.
Ellen Burstyn, right? Bursting in my pants, but she's in it for the most part, and then at the very end, Linda Blair shows up at the very end. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I'm just trying to. It's trash. I'm just trying to think of like. I'm just trying to think of like Linda Blair's career. I liked how she kind of.
She made a prison movie. She made Night Patrol was great. A lot of people. I mean, it's not their cup of tea, but I thought it was hilarious. And she made like Hell House.
Right. I saw that.
Then at some point, like she just kind of like, she was around making these types of movies in the 80s. And then she just kind of, and Exorcist 2, which isn't good. But then I remember seeing her in a
TV movie. Like I remember seeing her in like a lot of made for TV, like CBS and ABC movies.
Right. I think like she was like in like Portrait of a Alcoholic or Hitchhiker or something.
Portrait of an Ass Grabber.
Portrait of an Alcoholic Hitchhiker.
You're totally right. Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic.
Okay.
I think that's exactly what it's called.
But I think at some point she just kind of like stopped working and just kind of started taking care of dogs and fucking Rick James.
Yeah, she's cool though. I like Linda Blair. I like the decision she's made.
Always like whenever she shows up in something, I'm like, okay, I know this is going to be entertaining.
Yeah, she seems like the decisions that she made with her career, I think are. Some people might think that she squandered her talent because she debuted with such a fucking effective and affecting performance that maybe people thought that she was going to go on to be some kind of like Oscar lady, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But she kind of took this trash, quote unquote, trashy kind of route. And,
but I think
I don't think
I think she was sort of hampered by, when she was in The Exorcist, she was like a kid.
Yeah.
Then she gets older and she still has like a very
baby face.
She's like a super baby face. And then she's got like big cans and she's short. So, she has like a very particular look that, it's not going to fly if she's like married to Al Pacino in The Godfather too. Like there's something about her look that it works specifically for these types of films.
Yeah, you're right. She's kind of like Rizzo from fucking Grease, except hot, except like a babe,
Like she's not going to be married to like Dustin Hoffman in Kramer versus Kramer. Like I just don't.
She's not.
She's not going to see her in that role.
Is it Olivia Newton-John who was in Grease she's no Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, she's Rizzo.
She's a Rizzo, but she's like the best possible Rizzo.
Right. She might have been a better Rizzo than Stockard Channing.
No, definitely. I mean, but you don't want to. Yeah, then you got sort of a Debbie. What's that called? Betty and Veronica situation.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get into the whole fucking business of Linda Blair putting on her sexy leather outfit. She has to pick like a good outfit to.
That's a great outfit.
Yeah, to go through her.
I like the zipping up.
Oh, that has been. I'm not sure if that's the first time that we ever saw that. Probably not. But I see that in I remember seeing that in Venus Wars, an anime. Mm-hmm. You see that a lot in animes. A lot of just Japanese guys
zipping up the tits.
Yeah, like just in some like vinyl fucking like motocross gear or something. Right. But in any case, she goes out. She's got a crossbow now, and she comes across Red and Fargo, and she kills them in this like
Joanne's fabric store.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're just in this really crappy kind of environment with it's just like bolts of fabric on racks, like at a fucking Costco or something. But the ceiling is lower, and she just goes and it's this is where the movie really suffers because the deaths are so unsatisfying. She shoots the one guy through the neck with a crossbow. Then you
don't see the other guy die.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of like falls off screen, and then you just kind of are left like, what happened? And then come back in, and he's got like a bear trap stuck to his head. Yeah, and I guess like she kills him. She kills him by shooting him in the. No, he doesn't have no bear trap stuck to his head. He's got some kind of. Well, she shoots him, but when Jake comes into the fabric store and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm back," and then Fargo and Red are like tied together to like a pole, and I'm pretty sure one of them has the bear trap like stuck on his head or somewhere on his body.
Mm. They should. She goes on to shoot Jake twice, like in the legs, and then he kind of, suffers for a little while. But then he kind of like
pulling them out this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody knows that's not how that works.
Yeah. No, it's true. You have to break them off,
or you got to push it through.
No, you just I mean, if you're still, being pursued, you just break them off and leave them in.
Oh, well, that too.
Yeah.
Do that.
You're not going to be fucking around trying to push it all the way through. Like that's just insane. Could you imagine actually trying to do that? That'd be fucking insane.
Well, I mean, if that happens to it, it's like, it depends on the head of the arrow. If it's like, I guess if it's just sort of like a smooth pointed arrow, you can pull it out. But if it's got like the hooks on the side, you can't pull it out. You'd have to push it. The only way to get it out is to push it through.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, I'm going to the hospital. Like, I'm just going to try to get through the fucking.
Jake ain't going to no hospital.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. I go to the mafia hospital and pay out of pocket.
Dr. Vegas.
I used to live next to like sort of a Taiwanese sort of gangster hospital, like a non-government hospital, because most of the hospitals here are like government, like all of them basically. But there's one that's just like a private hospital, and that's just where all the gangsters would go to deal with. I mean, there's not a ton of violence around here generally. Things run really smooth. When you have like strong organized crime, things tend to be pretty smooth. Like if organized crime is suffering and it's struggling, that's when there's a lot of little hiccups of violence here and there, as far as I understand. But also the fact there's not really a lot of guns here either, so it's just all either knife wounds or beating wounds, bludgeoning wounds. She throws like a thing of paint on Jake and then lights him on fire. Paint. Flammable paint. They have a big, huge, like the label of the paint is just a flammable symbol, and so you get the picture.
So, I mean, that's a pretty good death. Just throws the paint on him, lights him up.
I mean, it's okay, but it's like the whole thing where, she's hiding, holding the paint. He comes up behind her, totally gives himself away. Mm-hmm. She just turns around, throws the paint on him. They fucking wrestle for a bit, and then she has Chekhov's fucking butane lighter. She tries to like light a cigarette earlier unsuccessfully. She manages for it to work this time. It just seems ill-conceived, and with a movie essentially this is a rape revenge movie.
Well, the other thing that I read on the Wikipedia was one of the things that the producer and director were arguing was, I think the producer wanted just Linda Blair to get revenge. And I think the director wanted all the girls to join in on the revenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that sort of contributed to the spotty ending.
Yeah. So he's just kind of like, okay, fine. So he shoots her with an arrow. Who gives a fuck? Like, he's just kind of like, this is what you wanted, isn't it? He doesn't give a fuck.
I just don't want to work with this fucking asshole anymore. Let me just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, let me just get paid and leave. Well, there you go. I mean, that's fucking stupid though. Like having it be the whole gang. Why even have the gang? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, there you go. That's why you can never listen to a producer. Producer doesn't know what the fuck they're doing ever, ever.
True.
It's like, well, maybe like, I don't know, 3% of the time they might have a good idea, but most of the time they're just fucking everything up. And then when the thing fucks up, they turn around and blame it on you. You're the guy who did it. Exactly. And they call you spoiled. They call you're getting too much, difficult. You're being difficult. So all producers are gay and pedophiles.
Right.
And losers. And they can't get hard for their wives. So yeah, then Savage Streets ends with a funeral scene for that fucking pregnant lady. Mm-hmm. And Linnea Quigley has recovered. And then they have this song that's like, it's like, no more innocent, no more innocent hearts. And it's like, and it's them in that LA cemetery that they used in
a showdown.
Yeah. It's that cemetery they used in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. No, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, like the one where he meets the fucking nun or whatever. That cemetery in LA that gets used sometimes in the 80s movies. But anyways, the ending's cool. The ending actually like takes it up a notch, like after the sort of the unsuccessful or the unsatisfying revenge sequence. The cemetery scene in that song kind of makes me go, fuck yeah, no more innocent hearts. they're not innocent. These girls, they're not innocent anymore.
They're learned a lot.
They're hardened. They're hardened, and they're ready to fuck. So the movie's over.
They've tamed the savage streets.
They've tamed the savage streets, but you know what? The thing is, though, they've only tamed one of the savage streets. Only one savage street.
Yeah, from Cahuenga to Highland.
The rest untamed.
Right.
Still absolutely savage. So that's the end of the movie. What kind of rating do you give this one?
I'm gonna say 3.5.
You give this one a 3.5.
Yeah.
I gave Eden Lake a 3.5. Do I like Savage Streets more than Eden Lake? Yes, I do. Do I want to give Savage Streets a 4? No, I don't think so. It just suffered just same problem with Death Wish 2. It's like the revenge is not strong enough. The revenge doesn't satisfy enough. For that reason,
streets.
Yeah, unsatisfying streets. I'll give it the same as you do. Then I'll give it a 3.5 because it is stylish enough and it is fun enough, and it just has
I like the brazen commitment to sleaze. It's always appreciated.
Yeah, it just hadn't been for that stupid producer, fucking everything up, getting in the way.
Who knows what masterpiece they could have cobbled together if it wasn't for that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it just needs a little bit more. Like, you need to kind of look into the horror toolbox and come up with some sort of cool, gorier deaths for the scars towards the end. And also, even if it is just Linda Blair, still like some gorier deaths, more creative deaths could have been, could have saved the film.
That was the other thing that I guess I kind of, it felt weird was like she was like when she was tossing arrows into his legs and then like dragging him, hanging him upside down like a pig, and like doing the big like, I'm gonna fucking torture you. You're gonna get what's coming to you. Like she's like really all like hot shit. And then he pushes the gate in her face and she like falls back. And then he somehow is able to climb down and get on top of her. And she stabs him and she's able to run away. But it's like right at that moment, suddenly she's like, eek! Yeah, I don't know why I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
Her attitude changes like that. There's her character as like, I'm a tough girl gang, leader of a girl gang, and she's always like getting into fights, but like it's a lot of wolf tickets. Like she's not, very rarely does she kind of like really produce serious results. Like even that fight that she's having with the blonde girl over her boyfriend, like she's literally like fighting, like it's not like if she had any kind of like strength or power, she would like knock the girl out in like 2 minutes or less, like 10 seconds. But like these fights that they have are like fucking, 10 minutes a piece. And like when they're in the class and there's that nerdy teacher. It's like, put the skeleton back.
Yeah.
And then he pulls down the thing and there's like somebody drew a huge penis on the anatomy screen. And,
and everyone's like, yeah, woo!
And so then like they get into the blonde girl and Linda Blair get into a big fight and they're wrestling around the ground and the fight ends when she rips the girl's shirt off and exposes her enormous tits. And then, it's not, the fights don't end with like a knockout or like I quit. It ends with like
tits.
Do
you remember the part early on when Jake and the gang they catch those that couple?
Oh right, there's a guy that owes them money and they're molesting his date who also has enormous breast implants.
Just the biggest tits you've ever seen in your life, and like they obviously got her for that and not her acting skill because she's just like smirking the whole time.
Like a block of wood.
Yeah, she's just like a complete imbecile. She's just.
But I think
like,
I counted that Fargo got to squeeze at least 7 tits.
Yeah. He actually got to like tease her nipples into being erect during that moment as well.
Right.
Pretty.
He was really going for it. Like, I wonder if he had consent or he was just going, doing what he had to do.
Director's just kind of like, is it okay if this guy just kind of does whatever he wants? And the girl's just like,
twiddles your nips.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean by that? Just, like he's not going to hurt you, but do you mind if he just kind of like,
come on, we're going for realism, honey.
Exactly.
I just feel that like if these guys had you hostage, they would really want to play with them big bazoombas.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's part of my character.
And the movie is better for it. Those little attention, those little moments of detail are very welcomed. Very welcomed.
They're because character moments.
Excellent character moments. And that, let me tell you something, that girl, she's got a couple really nice characters. Couple real nice characters, if you know what I mean. Anyways, so yeah, that's the end of the show. Do you have anything else that you want to say?
Nah.
All right, cool. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.